My name is Emmanuel Usman. I'm a 2020 fellow Teach for Nigeria. I am an advocate for gender equality, human emancipation.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started with this episode.
I grew up in Ondo State, Accra precisely. That was when I was born. And I had my primary and secondary education in the Ondo State. I proceeded to Federal Polytechnic, where I had my first diploma in public administration. Uh, Proceeded to Kogi State University for a bachelor degree in language. I'm currently running my PDE. I'm in year two, second semester. So Teach for Nigeria is a non-governmental organization focused in addressing educational inequity in Nigeria. Teach for Nigeria recruits outstanding, promising future leaders who understand the inequity in education and who are so passionate that can effect change in the various community they find themselves. Currently, I am teaching in the local government primary school, Jagba Shagam. Um, when I what motivated me to join Teach for Nigeria was during the pandemic, I was thinking of what I could do and how to impact life. Prior to Teach for Nigeria, I taught in a primary and secondary school, private school. And when I got there, I discovered a lot of things that needed to be addressed. I discovered that the learners, those children, they weren't interested in education these days due to, should I say, mentality education is not really promising due to graduates going around no job. So there's this kind of things flowing on in their mind. And when I came in, I discovered those things. I tried to de-abuse their mind and present to them the future opportunities that education can afford. So from there, I had the opportunity to work as as an trainers in the with OPQR. During my time there, I was directly engaged with riders. I train riders on ethics. I train them on how to use the app, and I also train them on human relation. So I have been directly involved in teaching, in impacting lives. From OPQ, from ORIDE, I also got appointment with OPQR, and there, the reality was a kind of different because I wasn't dealing with, should I say, learners, semi-literate or illiterate. Here I was dealing with professionals, you know. So I trained them on communication skills, on the management, time management, and how to market themselves. So I've been directly involved in teaching, in imparting life. So based on what happened, the economic was not favorable for the complaints, so they shut down indefinitely. So it was then the pandemic came. So I was thinking, what am I going to do? I drew so many plans, and I was thinking that I needed a platform where I can explore, where I can reach out to people in large scales, because I've been dealing with people on a small scales, which I am not really satisfied with it. I have passion to impart life. I have passion to talk to girls, to tell them that they can be whatever what they can be, regardless of their sex or socioeconomic background. So there was a day, a friend of mine dropped the link on a group chat. So immediately when I stumbled upon the link. I was like, "What is this? Teach for Nigeria." Then I launched into the website. When I launched into the website, I was hypnotized. I felt I was being targeted according to the words of Mr. Henry. I felt I was targeted because that's exactly what I've been looking for. That was the opportunity I've been looking for. I grabbed into it, and that was how I put in for the application from one stage to another. It was highly selective. We started from writing essay, from essay to online tests, English and mathematics, from the online test to phone interview. Due to the pandemic, we could not do one-on-one interview. So I was engaged on phone interview. From phone interview, we had mock teaching assessment day. From mock teaching, we have group presentation. After the group presentation, we also had an exam, like statistics. It was a whole lot of things. It was really demanding and engaging. Though I love it because it exposed me to another set of reality. It exposed me to how to package myself. It exposed me to how to how to really deal with hypothetical situation. So it was an experience that worth it. Well, while we were waiting, due to the pandemic, we had my set. We had our first virtual training, which lasted for 6 weeks. While waiting, it was a waiting period because school were closed and nothing was really working there. So we had to wait because without school, where are you going to? What are you going to do? So, and then I kept following them up. I was exposed to wonderful work, impact that fellows have been making, and that's really encouraged me. So we were also advised that we should use the period of the waiting to explore, to draw our plan and prepare for the reality. Then the Summer Institute came. Like I told you that we had the first virtual training. We did that in that period. We undergone different training, pedagogy, reality, and we were trained because I I learned a lot. I learned a new approach. I began to talk to myself. I have not started, I have not done anything. How I wish I'd had this experience when I was impacting life back then before TFM. But I felt there is always a start. You can always start. So I put in my best. And after the institute, we waited for just few months, and lo and behold, we find ourselves in the classroom. Now, on getting to the classroom, the first day was like, hey, I felt like, where am I going to start from? Because this is a reality. It's really happening. I've been exposed to the theory of inequity in Summer Institute, okay, Virtual Institute. But now this is reality staring at me right there in the face. Now, when I entered the classroom, I met my learners. Majority of them could not read. A good numbers of them could not even speak a word in the English language. It's as serious as that. There is a communication barrier. The literacy level is low, and you see hunger because it's a low income community. So you should expect that you're going to expect that it's as serious as that. Now, I immediately I was like, where am I going to start from? How am I going to start my vision? Because the visions I had while I was at home during the waiting period, I felt that no, I had to restructure this vision. So what am I going to where am I going to start from? Okay, I called my learners, guys, let's sit. We can do this. Now, one of the approach I use is to engage them. Okay, is to work together. I told them we are one big family. We can do this together. Okay, sit, tell me your problem. What is your major challenge? What are you passing through? And they sat down, they told me their challenges. Some I discovered that they really want to learn. I also made them to realize that, are you comfortable with your present situation? Are you happy with what is happening to you? I painted the scenario, and behold, they were carried in the vision. So we sat down and they told me what they want. Okay, Mister, I want to improve in reading. I want to learn how to solve basic mathematics. I want to learn how to, speak English language. I said, fine, we can do this together. Okay, but where am I going to come in? Because their major language is Yoruba, and I don't really know how I will continue in that trend because I want to make a change. So what are we going to do? The first thing okay, they really wants to come to me. They really wants to communicate with me, but the problem is the language barrier. I told them that this is what we can do. Let's do trade by pattern. You teach me your language, I teach you English language. So they were so engrossed with that. They were very happy. Yeah, I'll teach you my language. I'll teach you my language. So it works like fire. So we started from there. And the other aspect is, how am I going to upgrade them to be able to meet up with their colleagues in high income communities? Okay, I did a feasibility study, right? I identified those that cannot recite A, B, C to Z. So this category, I grouped them, and I also run a test for to know their present level in the English language. I also did a feasibility study on mathematics. Now, for those that cannot recite A, B, C to Z, okay, we started with identification of alphabets. I also give them work to do. And before that, I discovered that I cannot do this alone without the cooperation of the parents. So what do? We need to engage the stakeholders. We need to engage the parents so that they can complement the effort of these learners at home. So that during their playing time, what do? They can help us to help them to focus to do post-school study. So I reach out to some of their learners. There's a project we call a community immersion. We go to the community, we identify with our learners. Okay, coming back to this, we started with identification of alphabet A to Z. Then from there, we move on to sound, like sound that associates with each alphabet, A, B, C to D. I teach you the sound. So we started like beat by beat to enable them to able to pronounce words. Whenever they come across any words, they should at least try from the first letter. It will help them. So we started with identification of sound, Johnny phonics, and mathematics. We started with additions. Um, Now we fellows, what we do is we innovate, uh, and we engage our learners. We come up with different ideas, different innovations, classroom activities. We show them, and to we allow them to engage. There's a saying that when you show a child how to do a particular thing, the child will do it better. And again, I also try to upgrade their listening skills because many a times those learners are distracted. It is not that they are willingly distracted, but circumstances surrounding them. A learner that comes to school that have not eaten, how do you expect such learners to concentrate in class? So how am I going to overcome this challenge? I make sure that, okay, in the morning before lesson, we do a reflection. There it's a culture that we practice we imbibe in at Teach for Nigeria. So I also introduce it to my learners because according to the word of Aristotle, an unexamined life is not worth living. So in the morning, we reflect and plan what we want to achieve for that day and what we have not done better and how to work on it. So these are the things we do on daily basis. Now I also made them to realize that you see, uh, woman brain is like a house. It's like a house. It has a upstairs and downstairs. Let's say it's divided into two parts, upstairs and downstairs. Now the upstairs is the thinking brain, while the downstairs is the upstairs is the okay sorry the upstairs is the thinking brain while the downstairs is the affection emotion brain. Okay, so there is a link between the two, and that is the stairs. Yeah, the two cannot work effectively without a connection. Now, the learnings, the whatever we their circumstances, what they are passing through, has a way of affecting the learning outcome. So, how do we go about this? How do we improve on this? Now, I made them to realize that we all have our own issues of life. Most time I use my own case study with them, trying to encourage them. Okay, so in before class, after the reflection, I will tell them, okay, tell me your problem. I'll start with my own. We all have our own problem, our challenges. The the common answers is always feeding, I've not eaten, all sort of that. So from there, I would tell them that, okay, you all, because you need to allow them to express themselves. That is where you can actually go into and help them. So we, make them realize that you can drop this thing. Okay, give them to me. Give your worries. That's why I'm here. Give your problems to me. I will help you to keep them so that we can concentrate. After lesson, we address the problem. It's a way to help them to free their mind. You know, kids, they say, okay, mister, yeah, take this problem, take this. I said, no problem. I am large. I am large enough to accommodate all these problems. So now you see the joy in them, you see the willingness, they want to learn. Yeah, kids, you just have to understand them, how to get into them. So they drop the problem for me. So I'm the person that that can
So you
keep
try, so you resolve the problem at the end of the day. That's very
yeah,
good. So which
yeah,
age grade are we talking about here? What is their age? Yeah.
uh,
What is their age? Yeah.
like between 7 to 10 to 11, 12. You know, this is public school, so you expect you know uh, I mean grown-ups in most of these classes because it is public school. The education is somehow slow, and that's the reality compared to private school where you see small children in grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, but the situation is different in public school. So you see the joy in them, they want to learn and they are enthusiastic to learn. Then because if you don't deal with these emotional stressors, I call it emotional stressors. you will not achieve anything. So once you are able to deal with them with emotional strategies, you understand, you will achieve a lot of things. And one thing is that even after the lesson, some of them will not even remember that, hey, mister, where is the problem? Where is the solution? So they won't remember because they have already forgotten. So you have to do all these things to ensure that they are learning. Uh, that's it. So in the process, we come up with okay, we drafted our visions together, and this vision, this at times I might not even have a vision, a clearer vision, but along the way, as events unfold, visions will come out. From there, I
All right.
craft.
Now tell me, what is the primary objective of Teach for Nigeria? Be very clear on that for me, please.
Okay, the primary objectives of Teach for Nigeria. Okay, let me start with the vision. The vision is that one day every Nigerian child should have access to quality education. So the Teach for Nigeria recruits graduates to go into the community and solve this problem. Now, this problem is wide enough, is enormous enough that there is no single solutions to it. But with people that are passionate, with people that understand these problems, they can effect change the narrative. And that is what Teach for Nigeria does.
And I can see that there is a lot of participants here, a lot of teacher, a lot of graduates that are participating in the Teach for Nigeria project. Can you share more light as to how people get involved, be participant, be teacher in Teach for Nigeria?
Okay, Teach for Nigeria recruits every year. I think they started in 2017 with 44 cohorts. So every year they've been increasing in the number of cohorts. Presently, the application is on. Now, Teach for Nigeria recruits university graduates across disciplines, uh, professionals and young graduates who are so passionate and who are tired of the inadequacies in the ecosystem. So Teach for Nigeria bring them in to serve for a period of 2 years. It's a period of two full commitments. And before they go into the classroom, they undergo series of trainings, pre-service training, service training, and post-service training. Then in the second year, fellows are expected to identify a problem in their community, in their host community, and come up with a working solution to address it. And that is what we call BTC project. I'm currently in my second year, and I've already kicked off with my BTC project. I'm working on literacy, and the title of my BTC is Literary Clinic. So this is to help my learners read, write, and to communicate effectively. And the one of the major challenges is when those learners cannot read, it affects other subjects because how are they going to cope? What I can't read is very difficult for me to understand. So since this is a major challenge I have identified, so I'm working towards it right now. And so other fellows are also working on their BTC project.
This project, is it like it is designed by the Nigerian government to sort of substitute for the inadequacy, like you said it in the educational system? Because there will be a lot of complaint on the quality of education among Nigerian children. And since these Nigerian children as the Nigerian future, because we don't have alternative, they are the only future we have. If we give them quality education, then we have quality people for that will become Nigeria tomorrow. This, of course, in terms also of leadership, in terms of those who will become entrepreneurs in this country, and those who will deal with other people in terms of international relations for Nigeria. So is it that the government realized that there is lack in this and is invested in this project to sort of make up for it? Or is it an individual who decides to uh, react like this? So help me understand how the project came about. Who is sponsoring the project?
Teach for Nigeria is an umbrella under Teach for All network. Uh, exists in 61 countries of the world. Now, Teach for Nigeria like I said, is a non-governmental organization. Uh, they don't generate funds, so they get funds, they get sponsor, and various organizations have been showing interest due to those that that have collective effort, collective vision in addressing the current situation we have. Now, the issue is that Teach for Nigeria is not taking the place of the government. Teach for Nigeria is just complementing the effort of the government because for us, this is our children. We discovered that without quality education, it will affect these children from realizing their full potential. So this is a project by individuals who came up and said, no, we can work on this because if we take the statistics of the educational crisis, and according to a report uh, released from UNESCO 2013, that Nigeria has the highest number of out of school children, and about nearly 60% of pupils, primary six pupils cannot read at all. So it as serious as that. So this is a collective effort. All hands must be on deck. We also believe that government cannot do everything. So we need you and I to come up and address this problem and change the trajectory of the of our country. So that is why you see graduates who are so passionate joining because when you get into this system, you understand, you have the clearer picture of the situation. Then from there, you start thinking innovative way to come up with your own idea. Because at the end of this fellowship program, fellows will come up with their own innovation, come up with their own NGO, come up, work in policy because they now have the knowledge of it. They have background knowledge of what is happening. So this for Nigeria is a platform to leverage on. It's a platform to network. It's a platform
Teach
to
for Nigeria, what's
collaborate
exactly?
because it will link you to various opportunities. It will open your eyes to the realities and it will take you far beyond your present scope. That is it. Teach for Nigeria is not to take over from government. Teach for Nigeria is there to complement the work of the government, and it's the duties of you and I to ensure that our children have access to quality education.
Thank you for
So
that.
we are being driven by
Yes, yes,
passion.
please. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Emmanuel. Now, I'm trying also to understand before we move to the next segment in the conversation. Now, those of you that are working there, is it on payment or salary, or you are just like dedicating your time to help people free of charge? If you can say anything about that.
Okay, fellows are entitled to stipends at the end of the month. So is a full commitment work. And so fellows are entitled to stipend at the end of the month for the period of the 2 years service.
All right, that is good. Of course, we don't need to be ashamed to say that because any person who work deserves his pay. And the Nigerian people, the graduate who are dedicated their time to the service of this is a service to the nation. No? You are rendering your service. You spend money to get your education. that you are now spending your time to make contribution to the society. It doesn't mean you should not be paid for your time, because where are you going to get money to live? You are not living freely. No, you have house rent to pay for, you have bill to pay, you have transport and the rest of it. So it is right that those that are rendering their service, even though something as important like it that look almost like a humanitarian effort, they also deserve to be paid for that. So that is right to that it should happen. Now, another thing I'm trying to understand here is, how do you choose the community to intervene in? Is it because somebody gives you a report, or maybe there is some students that are lagging behind? For this, you decide to intervene to help them level up. Or, I mean, help me understand how you choose the school and the community to intervene in.
You don't have the right to choose the school you want to carry out your activities. Is it is the management that decide on that. Yes, it's the recruitment team that decide on that. So you only get your letter of appointment, and the name of the school is rightly stated there. So from there you begin your work. That's how it is being done.
What I'm trying to understand here now, I'm trying to make a, kind of a comparison. I remember, for example, when students finish their study, in this case, I'm talking of university students, no,
Okay.
the Nigerian government have a program that is called National Youth Service Corps, no, which was really actually it's a very fantastic program, because you finish in Lagos, you go to Maiduguri to serve, and it's give you the chance to even understand Nigeria better. Even though, of course, we're supposed to understand our culture better. But because there is also lack of fund in some cases, so we don't travel very much across the country. Some individual I know. So this National Youth Service Corps will help you to know more about our culture, because you are going to some part of the country that you have never been before. So some of these corps, in most of the places, in most of the cases, they teach in the schools, no. So is it like this sense that the Teach for Nigeria project also work, or is it different? If you can help me explain that.
Okay, it is totally different because in the sense that it's so direct. Is we're going into the deep structures and to unveil all the knots that's there. Okay, we 1 year is not enough to effect change if we're being sincere to ourselves. And when you look at NYC, the model is different entirely because there is nothing like training, there is not like passion. I remember when I was serving, it's just to do the usual thing. There's no attachment, no. So it's totally different. But in Teach for Nigeria, there is that attachment. You have a clearer picture of what you want to do. You are moved towards it. You have a support. We believe that in Teach for Nigeria, you are never alone because the management keeps supporting you, keep pushing training, lots of courses online. So we pass through series of training. So the organization is so much passionate about our growth. We are not only being pushed into the classroom, but they are also like passionate. They are interested about our growth. So it's really a life changing event, life changing opportunity, and I must say that this has been the most the most impactful days of my life. And the way it is now, the story of my life cannot be complete without making reference to TFM because I know that what I have started, even after the fellowship, I will continue in that trend. Wherever I find myself, I've gotten a tools, I've gotten a way to leverage on, I've gotten a way to work my way out in wherever I find myself. So they are totally different. This is a model that is deliberate. Then it is highly deliberate, professional, and we with backings, international backings, and because of the wonderful things our fellows have been doing, we've been receiving recommendation, and we also have fellows too that have started their own initiative We have the likes of Henry. We have the likes of Aramide. We have the likes of Kayode that started Skolinka. So there have been wonderful testimonies. Even during the pandemic, fellows were still working. They were still going about sharing worksheets for their learners, retrieving it, uh, offering online lessons, getting in touch with the kids, getting familiarized with the community, uh, doing projects that is scalable, sustainable in the community. So the impact is wide beyond our scope, is wide beyond what we could imagine. So this for Nigeria is different from NYC.
All right, thank you so much for that. Okay, now, is it what you actually went to study in school, teaching, or is it something that came along the way because you find the necessity in it? So now you are a teacher. So help me understand also that part.
All right, it is not what I went to school to study because I've always wanted to be an HR. I love the profession, but I discovered that you see something about life. At times you want to go this way, but you keep finding yourself in a particular circle. I keep engaging directly and indirectly in teaching, even right from secondary school. I taught my colleagues, I organized tutorial. So no matter I want to shy away from it, I still find myself in the cycle. And I didn't have any educational background. And Teach for Nigeria will give us a play level grant. There's no discrimination, where regardless of what you study, in as much that you have the passion, you'll be given the chance. Now I'm on scholarship. I didn't pay them. The same organization pays for it for those of us without educational background. So they are so deliberate about our growth. They understand the situation and they understand the solution. So it is driven by passion and it is also driven by, you see, opportunities on a large scale. Thank you.
All right. Earlier, you were saying something to the effect of the fact that when you go into the into schools, to the education, in the Nigerian educational system, if we want to put it like that, you saw some things that were not right, which sort of motivate you to do what you are doing now. Would you want to spend some time explaining which are these things you think maybe need to be improved in the Nigerian educational system?
I think that is why this platform exists to address this situation. Like I, at the beginning of this program, I made mention of some challenges I discovered right in the classroom, and these were so deep. Uh, when we talk about uh, learners, like poverty is one of it. Poverty is one of it, and when those learners are unable to write, and parents too, we need to also bring in the parents to help complement the work of the teachers, because we discover that majority of these learners, they are not well taken care of at home in times of post school learning, after school learning. You see, they play around, some of them they hawk, and based on the situation, the challenges out there, you understand. So we have to bring in different innovations to help solve this problem. Like I said, the government alone cannot solve it. So that's why we need a platform like this. We need young minds. We need passionate leaders. We need volunteers. We need sponsors. We need people. We need everyone to join in the fight. The challenge is much, and I believe that with time we can overcome. It's a gradual step. We'll surely overcome it.
All right. Now, in terms of the support, I know that a project like this does require a lot of support to be able to succeed. Yeah. How do you get the support? Okay, there are a lot of investment that is needed for anything to function. So, what can you say in those areas? I mean, how do you get support for what you need to be able to carry out the project?
Those support is a big challenge in this picture, but we have ways of seeking for support through the work you do, and you post your work online. From there, you can get sponsor, you can get people who are interested in your project. Say, hey, I want to support you. It might be in finance, it might be in giving you templates, it might be in facilitating your project, it might be in gifts. So support comes uh, support comes from people who understand what you are doing. And for you to also get support, there is a need to build trust. There is a need to be consistent in what you do. When people are convinced in what you do, they will be willing to support you. And again, we also get support from friends, from support comes from government, support comes from the stakeholders, the the people in the community. Once they can see the effectiveness of your project, once they can see the usefulness of your project, they'll be willing to support you.
I appreciate that. Okay. Another thing that I'm trying to I try to understand just now is which part of the country is this project currently operating? Are you all over the country or in some parts of the country? If you can help us understand that.
Okay, the project kickstarts in three states, Kaduna, uh, Lagos, and Ogun State. But presently, uh, O- uh, Ibadan State has been included. So presently, we are in those states for now and hoping to move to other states based on support from the government.
Actually, so the government project, but the government is supportive. Can you be a little bit more specific? What kind of support are you getting for the government that you probably want the government to increase so you can cover more states?
In time of the support, you know, you, the before you can go to any state, there are a lot of paperwork that needs to be gone. So that one is between the management and the board. So they are working on that aspect. But basically, our own duty is to make impact in the community and show to the world what we are doing and to improve the life of our learners, move them to the alternative levels where they belongs to, where they can fully realize their potentials.
Now, in terms of the response from the students themselves, what can you say about that? Say, okay, of course, your objective, I want to understand, is you are going there because you want to improve them. And this improvement, you see it in evidence, after you have done your work and you see the transformation, you move them from point A to point B. So tell me about this point B in terms of what you see at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you. Like I told you, when I came on board, the first time I entered the class, I was very shocked. I thought to myself, where am I going to start from? Then we work as a family, we work as a team. I was very accessible to my learners, and from there they could approach me. And when I met them, I think a good numbers of them could not speak English language. There was that big communication barrier. But as it is now, about 70 of them can speak, about 70 of them, in fact, more than 70 of them can read in the English language. So it's about you driving in the change that you want is about you. At times I ask myself that what are the things that I've done that have brought about this change. It can only be it can only be when you are deliberate about a thing, when you are consistent about a thing, it becomes an habit. Like I've inculcated so many things in them in times of discipline, in time of moral. Like in my class, you don't abuse, you don't curse, because I will never do that. So I always, you know, give them this word of affirmation. We have our class chant. I'm a star, I'm a leader, I can do my best. You see our class design, all those things, it's shaping them. You know, a child, whatever you put into that child, it goes a long way. And I've also inculcated in them to this, and that even when I'm not there after assembly, when they get to the class, they read virtually everything on the board. They read the chants, they read what is on board, they're everything. So they are so enthusiastic doing these things because they want to grow. Now, when you have presented a future for them, you have given them that hope, you have showed them the way to go about it, then you see them walking in that trend, walking in that line, and they want to be what they want to be the best version of themselves. You know, majority of these learners, they don't have access to counselors as people that come close to them to tell them that, hey, you can be whatever you want to be, you can be a medical doctor, this is the way to go about it, these are the attributes to display. So there is no one to talk to them, and you bring them together, you show them love, you show them care, you attend to their, even if you cannot solve their personal problem 100%, at least you show concern, and that goes a long way. Uh, so we made them realize that there is value for education. Education gives you wings to fly. And we also made them in a way that they need to fly. They need to fly and not crawl. So they are so interested in the future because when you present what is happening, you tell them you can be this, you can be that. There is hope for the future, and we are also looking on to them to change the narrative. And they are willing, they are happy about it, and they learn. So to my own, I believe that there is nobody that is that cannot learn, and that is beyond redemption. With whatever situation you find yourself, you will always get there by determination and by willing. And those are the things that we have presented to our learners by being innovative. And we also bring people, okay, some of them will say, I want to be a doctor. Okay, bring a doctor, let a doctor come and address them. I want to be this. Bring these people, bring professionals, let them come and address them. When they see, they hear from them, then okay. And you will also disabuse their mind from this quick money syndrome, this Yahoo thing that is all about. You tell them the danger in those things. So when they see, no, I don't want to be this. I don't want to live a life of confinement. I don't want to live a life that I will be scared. I will not have freedom. Because we made them to see that this thing, you are living a life that police are all over you, they are pursuing you, no freedom. Or is it a life that you want to have freedom, you want to enjoy your money, you want to be a medical doctor, you want to be. And to my greatest surprise, as some of my learners, due to the impact, we lead leadership by example. Some of them are not even aspiring to be a teacher. I call them a student leader. And I'm seeing the future that someday some of them will even take up this position of being a fellow because they have been trained, inculcated. So it's a movement that is impacting life. It's a wonderful, and I'm so enthusiastic about it. I'm so happy when I look back and I see what is happening, and when I look into the future, I see that there is hope, and I see the hope for our children and for our children. So it's a thumbs up for the organization. Thank you.
Oh, right. That's powerful. That's very important. Okay, now, in your explanation, I think that should be in the very first one. If your very first response, if I'm not mistaken, you talked about the language, no? That when you get there, you see most of them didn't know how to speak English. So I to the point that you have to do a trade-up, no, in that they teach you Yoruba, you teach them English. So now okay, the organization is helping them to understand English so that they can. Anyway, I understand that you are teaching them English and also some moral and uh, some personal skill, if you want to put it like that. Uh, my curiosity here is, um, what if there was a possibility for them to understand the same thing that you are teaching them, even in Yoruba language? Could that be negative or positive to them? Since now, because first, now you need to teach them English and you need to teach them this value in English, no? What if this value could be taught to them in their language they already understand so that they can just bypass that one? Help me with that.
Okay. The thing is that we want to upgrade their literacy level in English language, and and in their mother language too. There's nothing wrong with that, because at times, they understand better when you use their mother language. But we discover that they are exposed to their mother language. They speak Yoruba virtually all the time. They speak at home. They speak in the church. They speak wherever they go to. So we then continue to speak this thing in the classroom. So there's a way to bridge it. So that is reason why we just want them to upgrade in the English language, because you see, as it is now, wherever you go to, the English language is very important for you to launch to the world, for you to have access to the world. And it will be a very difficult thing if you cannot speak the English language. So that is our own idea. And most time too, Rome wasn't built in a day. We we also, interpret, especially when you are dealing with big concepts. So there's this concept that you need to break it down for them, even in their mother language. And I understand that there are some fellows that do not understand the Yoruba language. So how do we do this? Just that we'll get an interpreter, like one of the learners too. Some of them you can recruit them as an interpreter. So it works that way, pari passu, trade by barter, just to ensure that they upgrade in their literacy and they become the best versions of themselves. That wherever they are, they will feel less intimidated. And if you compare the trend with children's in private school, you see that the English language is as important as that. If not, you feel intimidated, no matter how knowledgeable you are, no matter how good you are. If you cannot speak the English language, when you get out there, you feel very intimidated. And we don't want a situation when our learners will feel intimidated. We are imbibing the culture of confidence in them. And and let me chip in this. This year alone, we've achieved so many outstanding records. We won debates three different occasions, and we gone for football competition. We won. We went for relay race. We won, and so many things. And those things not have not been happening. So these are part of learning systems. These are part of things that makes learning stand out, that brings um that brings favorable classroom environment, that drives in, that pushes learning. So it is not all about the classroom. It is also beyond the classroom. It is also you bringing in extra curriculum activities. And presently, my learners are still warming up for the next phase of the debate competition organized by the Ogun State government. So those are the things that we've achieved and will achieve more before the end of my tenure.
Is there any way that maybe you can make reference to their culture when you are talking to them, teaching them even in English, in a way that when you make reference to them, when you show them hero, you show them
Mm.
you project to them the kind of future that you want for them in a way that the reference can be something that look like them, that represent them, instead of maybe because I remember I went to school in Nigeria. No, in most of the book
Okay.
that we read in those days, okay, the time it was I'm not saying all, but most of them they are foreign books. No, Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, and things like that. But we also have beautiful story like Chudo and Chibe and the rest of it. Because if I'm reading Romeo and Juliet now, there is no way I can be imagining. Of course, I'm imagining myself to those story, but those stories are actually completely part of me. They have nothing to do with me. Whereas if I'm reading, if I read the book Chike and the River, I hear Chike and the River. If I, even by the name itself, it gives me a sense of worth. But as a child, I don't understand the meaning of those ones. Only my teacher know the importance of the thing that they are putting in my head. So going back to the question again, in terms of reference, how much does the culture, the local culture, play in what the images that you are putting in the head of these children?
When it comes to culture, we also try as much as possible to expose them to the cultural heritage. Like there is a day set aside for Asha Day. On this day, it is strictly for cultural activities in all the schools across Ogun State. So on this day, we do dancing, cultural dance, cultural song. We display different culture, mode of life, mode activities, and I think the last one we did, we narrated a story of Prince Amina of Kogi State, who sacrificed her life for the good people, for peace to reign in, Prince Inikbe, for peace to reign in Kogi State. So we also do okay, I think a colleague of mine too came to uh, tell them about the Igbo culture. She explained everything. She also interpreted the local names in Igbo language. So we carry out these activities because you cannot totally erode the place of culture. Culture is very important. It is the way of life of the people. And one thing that we do is whenever we get to a community, we study the culture and we try to vibe with the culture. So we expose them, and again we dramatize, we show them videos on phones. We come with laptops to show them the pictures, movies, epic movies that will really push learning. So all these things they are exposed to it because we have different kinds of learners. We have the kinesthetic learners. Those aspects they want to see, they want to feel, they want to touch. So so once you come up with activities like this, you see it works like fire, and we will be coming up with different activities that has really be pushing learning. And I must say that these things actually work. It works.
All right, now, what is your own personal satisfaction in this work that you are doing? Because I can see that you are pouring in enough energy in it, and that says a lot about your conviction in it. So tell me about your personal satisfaction in this work.
Okay, in the works of Henry Adams, is a the quality of a good the works of a good teacher is to impart internal, because he never can tell us where this imparts will go after after his work. So I'm really satisfied and I'm really, really happy for this opportunity because it has exposed me to do what I love to do best. It has really helped me to touch lives beyond the classroom, even beyond learning, because I could, impart discipline in morals, in the life of my learners. And most of them now, they are very conscious of what they say. They are very conscious of their behaviors, and they are also conscious of the kinds of peoples they move out with, because your friend has a great impact in you. So this has given me, I wouldn't have come this far if I had remained in where I was. But this is a platform that has helped me, and the opportunity in this, like, we also go to other schools. We move from one school to other, so we impart on a large scale. And if not for this platform, I don't know where I would have been now. I don't know what I would have been doing out there. So I'm really satisfied, and I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to Teach for Nigeria for these opportunities. And I've also excited because I have a clearer picture that I want to become and what I will continue to do. Because even after my 2 years fellowship, I am not out of the trend. I will still be working, profiling solutions to the education space in our country. And I believe that the multiplier effect will be wide without margin.
Mr. Emmanuel Usman, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure on my part.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It has really been a pleasure. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewanfo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.